Hello, thank you for joining me on Humanities Radio. I'm Janet Cunningham with the University of Utah College of Humanities, and today I'm speaking with Heather Graham, who was a student in the Writing Studies Scholars Program. This program is designed specifically for students transferring from Salt Lake Community College to the U to major in Writing and Rhetoric Studies. Heather is here to talk more about the program and what it's like to be a transfer student at the U. Before we kind of get into your experience here at the U, can you just talk a little bit about what the Writing Studies Scholars Program is?
The Writing Studies Scholars Program is a program that was designed to help students transfer from Salt Lake Community College to the University of Utah by providing a class during the summer, Writing 3030, which is writing across locations. That class helps students get a taste for what they can expect from the department and from the field. And it brings in teachers from the university and from the community college that have done research on writing and rhetoric, and ones that teach that up here at the U. We get to read some of their research and the papers they've written, and then they visit the class and kind of give us a feel for what it's like to be part of that department and to be taking those classes. It's also a great way to get to know the teachers that are up there, having a face to go with the name that shows up on the catalog for the class. With the program, they provide that class for free at Salt Lake Community College in the evenings during the summer. And then people who finish the program are awarded a scholarship for the next term, as well as some other resources and get-togethers. You kind of have this cohort of other people who are also SLIC students that are transferring up, and you get to have that network of people as you transfer.
So it's essentially a way to prepare you for your time at the U, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
And so how did you even find this program when you were at SLIC?
Christy Toth, who's one of the professors here at the University of Utah and one of the people that started the program, she did several tablings at the community college and reached out to classes and people that were students at SLIC to let them know about the summer class and about the program. And I visited her at her table and had a great conversation about some of the problems I was having with getting my degree finished because of problems with financial aid and transferring. And she gave me information and invited me to be part of the class and help me overcome those burdens that were keeping me from finishing my education.
So was it through that class that you decided to major in writing, or was that already your plan?
I think it was through that class that made me decide to do the major in it. I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to major in. I do a lot with writing, and I love writing, but I wasn't quite sure what was available for someone who likes writing, what kind of classes to take, whether to go into English or whether to do something else.
And did this class kind of help you discover where you kind of wanted to take your education?
Oh, definitely. Definitely being able to hear about these different aspects of the program, the different research that other teachers have done in writing and humanities, and the way that it affects culture and people and our social narratives was great, because it helped me find a place that I could take the passions that I have and the things that are important to me and pursue them further.
So before we start talking about your future goals for your career, let's talk about kind of the transfer process. So when you were at SLIC, what was the most challenging part of transferring to the U, or kind of what helped you transfer to the U, or what made that process easier? Can you kind of just walk us through that?
Yeah, I think the community college has a lot of good resources for transferring, but at the same time, they sometimes feel removed from the student. So I knew that those existed, but I didn't always know how to go about using those resources or who to talk to about transferring. I had stopped by a couple of the tables that were available for transfer. They would have in their student center, people from the U would come and talk about transfer. And there were a lot of things that seemed like what I wanted to do, but there were still a lot of things in the way and I wasn't sure where to go with it. Talking with Christy and hearing about the resources that she had available or that she could connect me with was so helpful with transferring. It made it so that whole process was easier. I had someone on my side that was helping me find the things I needed. If I didn't know who to talk to about a specific problem or a specific step, I could just ask her. And if she didn't know the answer, she knew exactly who to talk to, or knew who to talk to that would know who to talk to, that would know who to talk to.
And do you feel like that's a common theme? That's how most of the students in the program feel about their transfer process?
I know students have different experiences for sure, but I think that it is kind of a scary prospect of going from the community college with these really small classes and a really small campus, moving over to the U. It's huge. And I think that even if another student in the program doesn't have the same exact journey that I do, they all kind of have the different burdens that get in the way. And I think that having these resources available have definitely helped a lot of them. I know that people make the decision to go to community college first instead of going to the university first for a lot of different reasons, and those reasons can be the thing that keeps them from continuing or makes it harder for them to take that next step. And I think that the program was really good in addressing the different needs of each student and being able to help me and be able to help any of my other cohorts in that group with their individual journey.
And so now that you're in your second semester here at the U now, and is this program still providing support, and how so?
It's absolutely still providing support. There are get-togethers that we have where we're able to connect with other students in our particular summer cohort as well as the other summer cohorts. We have the ability to make writing scholar study groups each semester, and that's really helpful to be able to connect with people that are taking the same classes that I am or that have taken them, for getting tips on like how to finish an assignment or what teachers are really good for different things. The resources still are also just incredible. I know this semester I had a little bit of struggle with my financial aid coming through, and I wasn't quite sure what steps needed to be taken. So I emailed Christy and I emailed Lisa Shaw, the advisor for the department, and they both gave me the ideas of what I needed to do to get it taken care of. And that is because I was part of that group. I have those resources available, so they help constantly.
And I would imagine being here at the U with 30,000 students is probably really hard to form those really close relationships with faculty and fellow students, because there's just so many people. The classes are so big. And so it sounds like you've had a different experience and you've been able to form those relationships.
Definitely. Like through the cohort of people that were in my class and the other ones that were before me, having those little get-togethers, being able to network and even just be able to reach out to someone else and have that connection is incredible. Like I didn't know people in my other classes, even as Slick being small, like you would see a lot of familiar faces over and over again, but you didn't always connect with them. And so here, being, as you said, with so many students, being able to connect with other students is really helpful, and being able to connect with the faculty is so good. Like I know that if I decide I want to do a research grant, I know that there are teachers that I may not have had before, but I've heard about them from the program, from the Writing Across Locations class, or from other students that I know who would be a good fit for what I want to research, or would know someone that might utilize a talent that I have or benefit from something that I have to say. And that's so good to be able to know that I have that network and that support system while I'm going to college.
So now that you've formed that network and that support system, you mentioned that you're hoping to graduate next spring. What are your hopes after graduation for your career?
I hope to do something that will help other voices be heard. So I've done a lot in publication and with publishing books and publishing and editing for newspaper and working with students in a writing center environment. And the biggest thing I've taken from all of that is that there are a lot of voices that have a lot to say that it's really important to hear. And I want to work to help those voices be heard, whether that's in publishing or in research or in editing further. I want to find ways to help those voices be heard. I'm currently doing the writing and rhetoric studies and gender studies as my minor, and so I want to connect those things. So I might go into publishing. I might independently start a literary magazine that caters to themes of different oppressed groups or of different ideas, or I might, work in a writing center for a while or teach even. That's always a possibility. But I definitely want to be working with people and helping voices be heard.
And that's, I think, the beauty of writing. You can take your passions and you can connect it to writing, no matter what that passion is, and kind of create your own path. What it kind of sounds like that you're doing.
Definitely.
So before we end, what advice do you have for students who are currently still at SLIC looking to transfer at the U? What are kind of some tips you have for them?
I mean, obviously, I think the Writing Scholars Program is a great idea. But if you're doing something that's not in that particular field, just getting to know the teachers and the resources, especially knowing your advisor. I think I can't stress enough how important it is to have open communication with your advisor. They can be so helpful. They know who's doing what. They know teachers. They know schedules. They can look at your financial stuff and your classes and make really good suggestions. They know the campus. They know the department. And I think that's my number one thing is get to know your advisor, because they're going to be someone you talk to a whole lot, and it will help make things a lot easier being able to talk to them.
That was Heather Graham, who is part of the Writing Studies Scholars Program, majoring in Writing and Rhetoric Studies. For more information about the program, visit writing.utah.edu.